Greetings, I'm Crazy Nelly, and welcome back to Long Live the Queen. I have fixed the music. I did a whole batch of 2 or 3 where I was kind of fighting with the music. I thought it was low enough. I had it at like half volume, but it's kind of weird how sometimes you have the music halfway down or 3/4 of the way down, and it turns out, it's blaringly loud in the recording. Sounds completely different. I don't understand how that even works, but anyway, it's very clear to me from the last playthrough that we're not going to be able to survive this girl's birthday party, at least not the bandit thing. So we are going to completely avoid it, which is not something I like to do, but we're going to. Say, we're going to need to get some classes. Say, what's our skills again? Let me see. Flattery, decoration. We need to learn a little bit more about internal affairs, I believe, because we keep failing at internal affairs. Every time I level something that was used before, it goes away. So, yeah, internal affairs. Your maternal uncle's wife, the Countess Nyx, claims kinship to the old Merva line and originally asked your mother for title to the duchy. However, no one could verify her lineage. As a compromise, your mother created her brother, Duke of Merva. Created him? I guess, made him a duke. The last Duke of Mead was the older half-brother of the current Duchess. His reign was brief and highly scandalous. He defied tradition to pledge himself as the life-mate of the old Duke of Ursul, then broke that off only a year later. He retired in seclusion and died still unwed. Yeah, that doesn't really work as a duke. The Duke of Marie was paid suit to the Duchess of Ursul with no avail. The Duchess's daughter is opposed, as he will inherit if she dies childless. Your agents suspect that the Duchess of Ursul is actually more interested in the Duchess of Hellas. Neither has ever been linked to a man. Okay. You receive word of yeah, I already know about this. Skip ahead. Because that sucks, but we can deal with it. Okay. We're going to do one more in internal affairs. Then we are going to do maybe a bit more agility and reflexes. We're not going on that trip, though. You practice with the jump rope. Countess Leek of Dis married the old Duke of Sudbury, who was more than twice her age, then divorced him as soon as she had borne him an heir in order to marry another. It was considered shockingly rude by the general nobility, but the old Duke apparently had no objection. Your skill in internal affairs is now 50. They say... Novan history failed. Internal affairs... Are you shitting me? Internal affairs is at 50. Whatever. The boy does have a living grandfather, the Earl of Ishtar. I'm gonna continue to marry him. Let's see now. Lonely, cheerful. Let's go visit the treasury some more. Okay. Classes. Jesus, I'm tired of failing these checks. No individual may hold more than one dukedom. I already read that last time. Yeah, I already learned this before. Foreign intelligence failed. Intrigue success. I have no idea how good she is. I'd make the same decision as before, unless I think that's otherwise. Still have to do foreign affairs. We're going to increase our knowledge of the world around us, because we keep failing in that, and all my military knowledge is not going to help me with actually learning my own kingdom. I already knew that. There we go. Visit the treasury once more. And now we can go ahead and finish that off with world history. You read about the western continent, Yavar, where civilization flourished so long ago that the ancestral Novans were still living in caves. No one knows what became of them. The population vanished without a trace, leaving only their enormous stone buildings. In the distant past, the Yavani tribes to the east rode giant beasts with spikes and tentacles on their heads instead of horses. The bones of these creatures are sometimes found in Lila and Mead, and their tusks are valuable to crafters. Even lacks a new outfit. You read about the northern continent, Borealis, where the first lumens in history were recorded, and how the discovery of magic shaped their development. Yep, build them damn ships. Okay. Willful and angry. Let's see. Let's do... So what's my new outfit? Scholar's gown. Boosts history. We're gonna keep doing Novan history and stuff. We're gonna be so knowledgeable about my own history, it's gonna be scary. The last two rulers before your mother, Queen Fidelia, were your grandmother, Queen Ladesh, and your father, King Fulbert. You read about the 100-Year War, which left much of Borealis uninhabitable and created a power vacuum, which would eventually be filled by the growing power of Nova. Borealis is now mostly made up of tiny domains containing no more than a few village-like settlements each, officially ruled over by shamanic lumens. They have few resources and live primarily from the sea. Do nothing. Screw them. And maybe slightly less angry. So what's my mood now? Willful. Okay. Let's be so frickin' knowledgeable about Novan history. Oh, I have a penalty in willful. About 60 years ago, the Duchess of Merva died with no close heirs, and King Fulbert claimed the lands for the keeping of the crown. After your mother took the throne, she recreated the duchy and made her brother, your uncle, its duke. After about 200 years ago, a great black cloud formed over Nova, bringing cold and sickness. The sun could not shine, and the air was gritty and foul-smelling. Many people died, including the queen at the time, and most of the high nobility before the cloud finally dissipated. Until 600 years ago, the capital of Nova was on the shores of Cathri Lake in southern Caloris. After they became uninhabitable, a new capital was built here in Lampsey Island. It was the chaos up here which triggered the eventual collapse of the Empire. I'm not going. I better stay here. I'm not going. No. We already learned. It's not even going to be an issue. Let's finish off Novan history and do foreign affairs. I'm tired of being so non-knowledgeable. The most famous ruler of ancient Nova was King Vladimir. According to the history text, he began the policy of gathering light, which led to the predominance of the empire. Unfortunately, the texts don't explain what exactly that policy was. There's a reference, but the volume is missing. You have nothing more to learn about Novan history. Because the Lilins are descended from Yavani castouts, who were officially shunned, the Yava nomads do not acknowledge that Lila even exists. They treat their western border as an invisible wall, and Novan emissaries and travelers from as travelers from an impossibly distant land. That's frickin' stupid. Out to the mountains in the northeast lie the deserts of the Piraeus tribes, who are traditionally hostile to Nova, but too lacking in resources to mount a credible threat. Small groups of Pyrran raiders are sometimes found in Kygel and Sudbury. Yeah, whatever. Ooh. Maybe? Visit the treasury. Just take it. Class. Let's finish up with foreign affairs. The domain of Terax, far to the south, has warred with Ixion on and off for centuries. Even when both were part of the Novan Empire, your grandmother insisted the Ixonites in putting down the last disagreement 32 years ago. The island domain of Milani was once a small outpost of the Novan Empire, but was simply forgotten about in the chaos 600 years ago. They are so pleased to have gained their independence without violence that they have remained a strong trade partner to this day. You learn that in the decline of the Novan Empire, slave raiders from Orcus terrorized the western shoreline until your paternal great-grandfather, then Duke of Coloris, led a fleet to their capital and came back with most of their treasury. I can't be any more knowledgeable. I'm not... Apparently she feels you are a weak leader, unfit to be queen, and has managed to sway several others to her banner. Who is against me? A number of minor earls and countesses, the Duchess of Mead and the Duke of Kygel. The Duchess of Sudbury is with Layla. But Gwinnell's my friend. Sudbury is completely surrounded by rebel duchies. She may not have a choice. The situation on Hellas and Marie is less clear. What forces can she muster, and what are we still holding? We have 4 battalions and 1 platoon. The naval side is of course useless in this conflict. By my estimate, a race can field 5 battalions and 1 platoon. It's not good. It will come down to a question of strategy. There are ways to increase the number of soldiers you have available. You can often pardon various imprisoned criminals in exchange for military service. Do it. Very well. Forces are in motion, but they have time to reach their peak. Damn it, we are in the middle of civil war. It's not exactly what I wanted at all. What's my mood again? Damn it. Battlefield medicine. We're gonna need it. We're gonna need a lot of it. Penalty angry. That wasn't a good move. That is a terrible idea. Never! Fine. Yeah, fuck that! If I can, I'm gonna fight you with everything I have. Visit the treasury again. It's time to start learning some more in the terms of sword fighting, apparently. Weapons, swords. You drill with the partner, attacking and blocking in carefully timed patterns. You practice moving with the blade, sidestepping, charging, and lunging. You practice using your blade to disarm opponents or shove them backwards. Okay. War rages for control of Nova. As defending queen, you're required to take personal command of your forces. Your control of magic enhances your claim to divine right of rulership. Battles are won and lost, fallen soldiers decorating the landscape. The final outcome is a victory for your side. Your forces sweep through the rebellious duchies and are met with cheers for the local population. Aris, the ringleader, is executed, and other rebels are forced to pay tribute to keep their holdings. Of course, there is a cost paid in lives. Strategy plus logistics. Your medical training helped you to preserve the lives of some of your wounded soldiers. I'm really glad I did that then. And their captive foes. Total casualties were 1.5 battalions and 1.25 battalions among the rebels. Your stronger position and strategy made you able to win despite your losses. Of course, there are no more rebel soldiers now. They are once more your loyal subjects. We did it! We managed to end the Civil War. That's great, actually. What's my mood again? I don't want to be afraid. I kind of want to be more cheerful. Lonely, yielding, cheerful. We're doing great so far. Yeah. We managed to defeat a civil war. Not bad. Not bad at all. We can now continue our further conquest of the world next time. If you liked me diffusing that situation, actually pretty skillfully I thought, hit the like button. And as always, click the nut on your way out.